In the dense sashwood forest, where the sun barely penetrated, there were rumors of a vengeful spirit. People spoke of an echo that responded to any call, but they were not just echoes. They were whispers of lost souls. One night, a group of friends decided to explore the forest, challenging the legend that surrounded them. Armed only with flashlights and bravery, they stepped into the darkness. As they progressed, a strange sensation enveloped them, as if they were being watched. But they laughed, ignoring the warnings, and moved on. After hours of walking, they began to hear laughter in the distance, laughter that seemed to come from deep within the forest. Intrigued, they followed this sound, hoping to find other adventurers. But as they got closer, the laughter transformed into screams as if someone were in pain. Fear started to creep into their hearts, but curiosity was stronger. They pressed on, defying the limits of what was sensible. The darkness seemed to swallow everything around them. Finally, they reached a clearing lit by a strange, dim light. In the center stood a hooded figure, murmuring incomprehensible words. The group stopped, paralyzed by fear and curiosity. The figure slowly turned, revealing a disfigured face, its eyes empty like bottomless pits. The air grew heavy, and an intense chill ran down everyone's spine. The echo of their own breaths seemed to reverberate back, distorted and grotesque. The figure gestured, and suddenly the trees around them began to twist and move as if alive. The group screamed, trying to run, but the roots of the trees grabbed their feet, holding them in place. Desperate, they looked at the figure, which now seemed to grow in size, its laughter echoing through the forest. "You have intruded on my domain," the voice said, echoing in their minds. They felt a wave of despair, the realization that they would not escape. The darkness surrounded them, swallowing their hopes. As the figure approached, the friends began to feel their memories being sucked away, one by one. Happy laughter, moments of joy, all being drained from their souls. Fear gave way to panic, and they screamed for help, but their voices were swallowed by the darkness. A dense shadow began to form, enveloping the clearing in utter darkness. The figure raised its arms, and the echoes of their previous laughter resonated, now distorted into screams of agony. The forest was alive, and it fed on their fears. At that moment, they united, trying to fight against the darkness that enveloped them. "We can't let this happen," one of them shouted as they tried to remember good things. But each memory was one more drop in a cup about to overflow. The figure, feeding on their struggle, smiled with satisfaction, a horrendous expression that froze them in fear. The echo continued to intensify, a chorus of their lost voices. They realized they were being transformed into part of that darkness. Then, one of the friends, remembering a story his grandmother told, decided to shout the truth about the figure. "You have no power over us. We are stronger together." The figure hesitated, its smile wavering for a moment. The echo responded, reverberating their words back, creating a wave of energy. The darkness began to dissipate, revealing the clearing once more. But the figure did not retreat. It became even angrier, the screams growing into a desperate clamor. The friends felt that the fight was far from over. The trees began to shake violently, as if aware of the struggle underway. The figure roared in anger, and icy winds blew, trying to separate the friends. But their bond was strong. Together they stood firm. "Come on, we can't give up," they shouted, their voices echoing like a mantra. Light began to shine in the center of the clearing, a beacon of hope amidst the darkness. The figure, realizing it was losing power, advanced in fury, determined not to let them escape. In the heat of battle, the friends began to remember special moments together. Laughter at parties, stories around the campfire, the joy of being together. Each memory was like a weapon, cutting through the darkness that surrounded them. The light intensified, and the figure began to writhe as if being burned. "We are together, and nothing can separate us," they shouted in unison, a wave of courage flowing among them. The figure began to disappear, the darkness retreating. The clearing was now illuminated, and the echo of their voices resonated with power. The figure writhed in agony until, with one last scream, it disappeared completely. The group fell to the ground, exhausted but relieved. The trees, once threatening, now seemed protective, as if they were thanking them. They slowly got up, realizing they were free, at least for now. But the feeling that the forest still held secrets lingered with them. As they left the forest, the feeling of being watched did not leave them. Every shadow seemed to move. Every sound echoed in their ears. They exchanged nervous glances, knowing they had faced something beyond human understanding. "This isn't over," one of the friends whispered, the expression of terror still etched on his face. The forest, though now distant, still whispered their names. They realized that the echo would never truly leave them, and so the legend of Ashwood continued, once again fueled by the fears of those who dared to enter. The vengeful spirit waited patiently, always lurking for new victims. The friends, now marked by the experience, told their story, but few believed. The forest remained dark and full of secrets, and the echo would always call them back. And if one day they decided to return, there would be no one to save them. The darkness would always prevail.